I am still alive and I may still have the chance to travel to Mexico one more time. If this is my situation, then used to is not applicable. What I can probably express here is, you know what? There in the past, I would travel to Mexico City. But in that case, the situation, as I said, is not applicable with used to. Used to is exclusively referring to activities that can be performed in the present anymore. There is no way they exist. They no longer exist, definitely. Let me give you another example. Well, in this case, 20 years ago, I traveled. This one in past, to Mexico City. Another one, for example, last year. It's not possible that I use used to with the expression last year. Last year, I took a vacation in Cancun. Okay, in this case, again, there is no way I can probably use used to using last year. What about, for example, if I want to say, when I was a child, my grandpa used to read a bedtime story for me. Okay, observe this example carefully. If I say, when I was a child, my grandpa used to read a bedtime story for me before I went to bed. In this case, well, I only have two possibilities. Grammatically, this example is correct, but if my grandpa is still alive and in good condition, let's say, then this sentence is not likely to be the appropriate one, because it may happen that my grandpa one day said, you know what, come here, and I will tell you a bedtime story before you go to bed. But grandpa, I am 20 years old. Who cares? Just come and sit and listen to me. So in that case, the sentence will not be applicable. In that case, the appropriate sentence here would be, when I was a child, my grandpa would read a bedtime story for me. Okay, in that case, it's preferable that I use would, because my grandpa is alive and I still may have the chance to for that action to happen again. Now, if my grandpa is dead, if there is no way that action can take place again, okay. In that case, I can probably say, when I was a child, my grandpa used to read a bedtime story for me. So what is the difference? In this, the person performing this action is still alive. And in one way or in another, there is the chance for it to happen again. In this one, probably the main character is dead. And so there is no way we can repeat the action. Is everybody following me?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, so that will be basically the difference between used to and would. Now, if you are completely sure that this won't happen again, fine. Use used to. In the end, this is the appropriate one. Well, one important thing, when we are using used to, we can talk about past habits. Yes, we can also talk about states. What is a state? No, not the kind of a state that everybody may think. No, states are situations that will never happen again. Let's suppose that one day I say, you know what? This is the Casa de Montejo, there in Merida downtown. And for 400 years ago, Francisco de Montejo used to spend his summer vacation in this house. In that case, it is necessary for me to use used to because I am referring to a state. In that case, would is not applicable. I can say 400 years ago, Francisco de Montejo would live in this house. No, definitely not. In that case, it is strictly necessary that I said 400 years ago, Francisco de Montejo used to spend his summer vacation in this house. So in that case, used to would be strictly necessary, right? So would is not applicable when we are referring to states, to situations that have probably changed for any reason. Okay, not like that. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Well, so in this case, and as a past habit, it is used to, remember, here we are using the past form. So obviously in the negative, this will be didn't. For example, 50 years ago, children, okay, 50 years ago, children didn't used to have electronic gadgets like the ones they have now. Okay, observe this example. If I say 500 years ago, children didn't used to have electronic gadgets, it's true. Life has changed, and therefore, there in the past, children didn't used to have. And I am using the auxiliary in past, and as you can see, use is in present. So that is the good point about this. If it were a question, for example, if it were a question, it would be, did you used to know the, because the auxiliary is already present here. Did you used to play, for example, Jackson ball? When you were, let's suppose, when you were in primary school? Okay, observe this question. If I say, did you used to play Jackson ball when you were in primary school? In this case, the question, which is referring to the past, is talking about something that I am pretty sure it doesn't happen again. So here we simply can say, yes, I did, or no, I didn't. End of the story. Does anybody know what Jackson ball is?
No.
No? Okay, really? Jose Eduardo, do you know what Jackson ball is? Don't Google it. Okay, Jackson ball is a typical girls' game that they play with a little ball and some like crosses, let's say, made of metal or plastic. Well, in my generation, they were metal. Now they are probably plastic. And then you throw the ball, and then you collect the little crosses, and then you catch the ball again. Matatena. I don't know if you have ever heard it. Yes?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, that one. Yeah, it was very popular when I was a child. A long time ago. Okay, so in that case, I can probably say, did you used to play? Because I'm pretty sure that it won't happen again. For example, after my childhood, I have never seen a Jackson ball again in my life. I wonder if they still exist. Well, anyway, and okay, questions about this?
No.
No? Are you sure? Okay. Is it clear why in the affirmative I am using the and in the negative or interrogative no? Is it clear? Why not?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. Thank you. And one more thing, in terms of pronunciation, please, I don't want to hear people saying, oh yes, when I was a child, I used it to. No, no, I used it to nothing. So this is I used to. That is a real thing. I used to. And that is why. Can I tell you something?
Sure, Miss.
It's something that it has just happened to me. When you turn on the cameras, I took a picture, I got a screenshot. And I was thinking about saving that picture because, I don't have many chances to see you there behind the camera. And so I took the screenshot, but I forgot to paste it. And now I try to copy, the pages here and I repeated and I lost the picture. And I just wanted to save the picture where all of you are there behind the camera. So by the end of the class, do you think you can turn on the camera again? By the end of the class, not now.
Yes, teacher.
No, no.
Of course.
Oh,
Yes,
thank
Miss.
Of course.
Thank you. It's because I wanted to save. Thank you. I wanted to save the picture and then I got the screenshot, but I forgot and then I copy and paste the thing about the homework and then I erased, obviously, the picture. Well, okay. So, has everybody finished the quiz?
Yes, Miss.
Done?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
How was it? Any problems?
No, Miss. Everything was
Not
okay.
really.
All
No,
right.
Miss.
Okay, then let's see what happens and when I check it. Okay, so now we can probably start and check the listening. Let me share the sound with you. And okay. All right. Let me play the recording and we will talk about Timbuktu. Have you ever heard? Many people usually laugh because Timbuktu sounds like a strange and like a place nowhere. No, it does exist. I think it's in Africa. Oh, yes, here is a map. The Sahara, Timbuktu. Okay, that. Well, let us listen to the recording. This person will be talking about, it's a podcast about Timbuktu. And well, Timbuktu and the way it used to be. Got it? We have 5 simple sentences. Remember that this Moroccan is people from Morocco, and this is Marruecos, right? So this is invaded regularly by Moroccan forces. A destination for religious scholars, a major trading center. So this is a center which is very, very important. World Heritage Site by UNESCO. UNESCO usually assigns those World Heritage. What do they call them in Spanish? Patrimonio de la Humanidad. Yeah, patrimonio, and an important Islamic city. Okay, here we go. Timbuktu.
All great cities change over time.
Can everybody hear?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Here we go.
Timbuktu in Mali is an example of this. Timbuktu used to be a thriving city and an important place of learning for Islam. Centuries ago, it played a huge role in the spread of Islam in Africa. Even today, 3 important mosques still exist in Timbuktu, and Timbuktu is the home of one of the world's great collections of ancient manuscripts. The great teachings of Islam, from astronomy and mathematics to medicine and law, were collected and produced here in several 100,000 manuscripts. This heritage is recognized by the inclusion of Timbuktu on the list of World Heritage Sites. Timbuktu's geographical location was an important factor in its history. It was at the crossroads of major trading routes. The Niger River passes through Timbuktu on its 4,000-kilometer journey from Guinea in the west to the Niger Delta in Nigeria. Camel trains used to pass through the city continuously on their way north and south. They would bring gold from the mining areas in the south and salt from the north. The river also used to bring cargoes of gold as well as slaves to the city. People from all of the major North African cities would come here to exchange horses and cloth for gold. Equally, scholars from places as far away as Cairo and Baghdad came to teach and study. In the 16th century, Timbuktu was invaded by Moroccan forces. The scholars began to leave, and the trade routes also started to move closer to the coast. The golden age of the city was over.
Obviously. Okay. Well, remember the sentences that we are checking, right? If it used to be or not an important Islamic city, a World Heritage Site, a major trading center, a destination for religious scholars, and invaded regularly by Moroccan forces. Okay, let us listen to one more time. And also, if it's possible for you to answer these three sentences, go ahead. Okay, one more time. Here we go.
All great cities change over time. Timbuktu in Mali is an example of this. Timbuktu used to be a thriving city and an important place of learning for Islam. Centuries ago, it played a huge role in the spread of Islam in Africa. Even today, 3 important mosques still exist in Timbuktu, and Timbuktu is the home of one of the world's great collections of ancient manuscripts. The great teachings of Islam, from astronomy and mathematics to medicine and law, were collected and produced here in several 100,000 manuscripts. This heritage is recognized by the inclusion of Timbuktu on the list of World Heritage Sites. Timbuktu's geographical location was an important factor in its history. It was at the crossroads of major trading routes. The Niger River passes through Timbuktu on its 4,000-kilometer journey from Guinea in the west to the Niger Delta in Nigeria. Camel trains used to pass through the city continuously on their way north and south. They would bring gold from the mining areas in the south and salt from the north. The river also used to bring cargoes of gold as well as slaves to the city. People from all of the major North African cities would come here to exchange horses and cloth for gold. Equally, scholars from places as far away as Cairo and Baghdad came to teach and study. In the 16th century, Timbuktu was invaded by Moroccan forces. The scholars began to leave, and the trade routes also started to move closer to the coast. The golden age of the city was over.
Okay. Well, let us check this, but I won't help you at all. I mean, let's suppose that this is a mini exercise from your listening test, and then you will have to do it yourself. Well, first of all, I wish everybody could have his or her prediction. So let me see. 5 of you, please. I just need you to put your true or false answers on the chat. Just 5 of you, please. Okay, let me go to the chat. You just need to put number 1, T or F, 2, T or F, and etc. Okay. Yes, and I have put all of them from number 1 to number 5, if it's possible.
Miss,
Yes, dear.
me acaba de avisar Majo Trilla que se le fue el internet, pero que va a intentar entrar en cuanto regrese.
All right. Thank you, Ale.
And Miss,
Okay. Anybody else? This is one. Number 2. Has anybody solved number 2? Okay. Are you asking me? Oh, no.
I'm not sure, teacher.
I'm pretty sure that is true too. Because of the manuscripts, mentioned there. I'm pretty sure it's true. But let's check. Don't trust me. Okay, here we go. Let us just open the activity. Oh, by the way, did anybody hear where Timbuktu is located? Did anybody hear well, not the region, but the country probably.
in Mali.
Right. It's true. There was one way in which we can probably listen to this and the audio at the same time, but no. But this is for the second. Okay. All right. Well, so, Jose Eduardo, you begin. Number 1. Oh, yes, but read the whole sentence. From the beginning, Timbuktu. Okay. So, in your opinion, true, right? All right. Thank you. Let me see. Bruno, number 2.
World Heritage Site is true.
Okay. Thank you. Jesus Cadenas, 3. Okay. Then let me see. Somebody else? Ale?
Me?
Yes.
A major training center, I think is true.
Okay. Trading, right? Comercio,
Training, yeah.
Yeah, this is trading. Lily, please. Lily, are you there?
Miss,
Okay. Yes, Mandy.
destination for religion is church? Is church?
Scholars.
Scholars, sorry,
Mhm.
is false.
Okay. And let me see one more. Fatima, you wanna try?
Invited regularly by American forces is true.
Okay. Let us check. I'm pretty sure that is true too, but okay. Okay. And then we check. All right. And major trading destination. I think it was true. And it was invaded regularly. And okay. Let us check.
All great cities change over time. Timbuktu in Mali is an example of this. Timbuktu used to be a thriving city and an important place of learning for Islam. Centuries ago, it played a huge role in the spread of Islam in Africa. Even today, 3 important mosques still exist in Timbuktu, and Timbuktu is the home of one of the world's great collections of ancient manuscripts. The great teachings of Islam, from astronomy and mathematics to medicine and law, were collected and produced here in several 100,000 manuscripts. This heritage is recognized by the inclusion of Timbuktu on the list of World Heritage Sites. Timbuktu's geographical location was an important factor in its history. It was at the crossroads of major trading routes. The Niger River passes through Timbuktu on its 4,000-kilometer journey from Guinea in the west to the Niger Delta in Nigeria. Camel trains used to pass through the city continuously on their way north and south. They would bring gold from the mining areas in the south and salt from the north. The river also used to bring cargoes of gold as well as slaves to the city. People from all of the major North African cities would come here to exchange horses and cloth for gold. Equally, scholars from places as far away as Cairo and Baghdad came to teach and study. In the 16th century, Timbuktu was invaded by Moroccan forces. The scholars began to leave, and the trade routes also started to move closer to the coast. The golden age of the city was over.
Probably because it says here it was invaded by Moroccan forces during the 16th century, is that we may believe, for example, that it used to. But okay, as I told you, this is a customary action, for example, that no longer may take place. And well, we don't know if Moroccan forces may invade the city again. Why not?
Teacher, what does mean heritage?
Herencia.
Okay.
In this case, they translate it as patrimonio, for example. When they say word heritage, they are talking about patrimonio de la humanidad. UNESCO assigns. Well, I was just going to ask you, is it really clear what the word mosques are? Let me show you. Here, for example, when they are saying that the city contains 3 mosques.
All great cities change over time.
What is it?
Timbuktu in Mali is an example of this. Timbuktu used to be a thriving city.
Yes, they are those typical churches, well, like churches, but for Islamic people. Got it?
What word, teacher? I'm sorry.
This one, mosques.
Okay.
When we are talking about the mosque, we are referring to the religious place where that one. Okay, so like at the church, but for a different religion. Okay, so as you can see, even today, 3 important mosques are still located in that city. Yes, it's true. Well, let us try to complete the cities. Let us try to complete the sentences. Let us listen again and let us try to complete this. Please, if you do have the word, put it on the chat, corresponding number 1 and the word. Ready? Here we go.
All great cities change over time. Timbuktu in Mali is an example of this. Timbuktu used to be a thriving city and an important place of learning for Islam.
Timbuktu used to be a place of learning. Thank you.
Centuries ago, it played a huge role in the spread of Islam in Africa. Even today, 3 important mosques still exist in Timbuktu, and Timbuktu is the home of one of the world's great collections of ancient manuscripts.
Has a great
Collection.
collection, that's right, of ancient manuscripts.
The great teachings of Islam, from astronomy and mathematics to medicine and law, were collected and produced here in several 100,000 manuscripts. This heritage is recognized by the inclusion of Timbuktu on the list of World Heritage Sites. Timbuktu's geographical location was an important factor in its history.
What was an important factor in its history?
Location?
The city's geographical location, that's right.
It was at the crossroads of major trading routes. The Niger River passes through Timbuktu.
Timbuktu is on the Niger. Okay.
On its 4,000-kilometer journey from Guinea in the west to the Niger Delta in Nigeria. Camel trains used to pass through the city continuously on their way north and south.
Okay, any ideas?
Used to pass around the city.
Right. Remember that camels was a very popular mean of transport for them. So if they put them in line, we can probably talk about camel trains. Okay.
They would bring gold from the mining areas in the south and salt from the north. The river also used to bring cargoes of gold as well as slaves to the city.
Okay, cargo salt?
Gold.
Gold, that's right. And slaves, esclavos.
People from all of the major North African cities would come here to exchange horses and cloth for gold. Equally, scholars from places as far away as Cairo and Baghdad came to teach and study. In the 16th century, Timbuktu was invaded by Moroccan forces. The scholars began to leave and the trade routes all.
Okay, after the 16th century, the scholars.
The scholars?
The scholars, people who teach. Have you ever seen, for example, those people who practice Buddhism? And so they are like monks that teach philosophy, theory, and etc., etc. So the people who study that, okay, so the scholars began to leave Timbuktu. And here is the word, look. Yep. Is that okay?
Yes, Miss.
All right. These are the cargos. Remember that the cargos are, it could be on the train or it could be on a boat. Why not? Oh, well, here it says on ship and aircraft. And okay, these were the salt mines and the trade route and the gold mining area after the 16th century. And that's it. Look, this is a picture of the place. Timbuktu. Well, okay. Continue. Yes, dear.
Esto igual es lo del workbook. Es que esto fue lo que le tomé foto, lo que me enseñó.
Ajá.
O sea, lo que hicimos ahorita lo vamos a volver a hacer de tarea, o sea, lo que de workbook.
No, es this.
Solo es eso. O sea, tengo las fotos de los dos, pero como me mostró los dos, igual le tomé foto al otro.
No, only this one. Probably you took a picture of the other. There is another exercise here, but it's not this. I didn't show it. It's on page. No, let me show it. But no, this one, no. The one that you are doing for homework is this. Is vocabulary, exercise 1 from unit 7. And the other, I haven't shown it. Let me just get it. And I will show it to you, but I haven't shown it. This is on page. I put it there on the chat. Let me see. What is the page? Could anybody please tell me? 70 something?
Sí, no sé, Miss, pero ya pude entrar al libro, Miss. Lo había puesto mal. Sí, perdón. Ya le hice que le hablara.
Es la 52.
That's okay.
52, Miss.
Okay. Thank you, Yancy. No, that's okay, Bruno. It's because, when you get the book, you probably have 2 codes. Yesterday, I was talking to a student, and then she was asking me a similar question.
Sí, es que te preguntan, no sé si es enroll o enroll y admit otro curso. Y yo ya le había puesto el segundo y nada más era el primero para entrar con a otro curso ya. Pero
okay.
Ya todo bien, gracias.
Okay, that's okay. Don't worry. This is 14. Is this one? Ale? Thank you. Okay, this one. This is the exercise about as if as though and like. Do you remember that last class we were practicing the difference between like, it looks like a princess, I said. Yes, do you remember? Or then I told you, he spends money as if he were rich. But remember that when we are using as if, it's because it's not real. I mean, it may or it may not be. Who knows? For example, if you say, oh, well, he lives, no, he lives, no. He looks, okay, he looks as if he had a problem. Well, this is the appearance. Maybe he has a problem, maybe not, but he looks, he has the appearance. And then when you are saying like, it's also because it's not true. You look like a doctor, but in the end, you are not a doctor. And remember that we were making a comparison between like and as. And then I told you, when you are using like, because it is a preposition, we need a noun, like palace, like a princess, like etc. When you have the complete sentence, when you are, okay, then we use as. Do this as I told you, for example, or as everybody knows, etc., because we have the complete sentence. And remember that here, as if, as though is exactly the same. I told you, many people, say that as if it's more British, as though it's more American. Well, in the end, it's the same. So you are simply matching these sentences with this one. That's all what we are doing. Is that okay?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, there it is. Well, so this exercise is also for homework. Remember, this is part 1, and this is the complement. You are using these sentences to complete this sentence. These others.
So, Miss, it's only the 5, 6, and 7 exercise of this workbook.
Let me check.
We'll have another exercise in another.
In the workbook, exercise 7, exercise 1, and the ones that I told you before, which are page 152, exercise 4, page 145, exercise 12. 1, 2, 3, 4 exercises, Jose Eduardo.
Okay.
Yes, are you sure? You got them all?
Wait, can you repeat again?
Sure. Actually, let me put it on the chat. Remember, originally, they were from the student book, page 152, exercise 4. From page 145 from the same student book, exercise 12. Okay, and the workbook, we have workbook, page 45, exercise 7, which is this, as if, as though, and the other, one. Does anyone remember the page? This is in the workbook.
Can you repeat the
It
last?
was the page where we were. Okay. Now, look, Jancy has already put.
Okay.
Okay, there it is. She writes the same as me. All right, there it is. Thank you, Jancy. That's very kind of you. Well, okay. And so this used to and would is not,
Miss,
it's not, how can I say, it's, yes, dear.
can you repeat again the last? The last exercise with the workbook. I have a one is page 45.
This one?
Exercise 7, and another one is this.
this? Workbook page 52, exercise 1?
Yes, yeah. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Well, so I was telling you, this used to and would is not that difficult because, okay, this is the best way we can probably distinguish. So probably here, what we need to do is to practice an exercise here. All right, so no questions about used to? Are you sure?
No, Miss, everything's okay.
Okay. Yes, it's not that difficult, as I said. And okay, I just wanted to show another exercise about this, but it's not here. Well, okay, let's continue. Let me share the book. And you see, this is the reading I was telling you about the beaver. And here is used to. Okay, any volunteer please to read the yellow box? Yancy, would you like to read it?
Okay, Miss. People used to hunt ¿cómo se ve esa palabra, Miss?
Beavers.
Beavers for their fur. The Murray family used to have a farm here. There didn't used to be any skyscrapers. What did New York used to look like?
Okay, so this is in the question, you see, used to, in the negative, didn't used to, and then in the affirmative. Let me see. Thank you, Yancy. Robert and Fatima, what was the reading that I assigned you? Would you please remind me?
Is the lesson number 12.
Okay, but it is not this one, right?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't know.
Okay, that is why. Well, okay. If I remember well, we read this passage when you were in level 4. I read it with you, and what we probably didn't answer is this vocabulary. Now, my question is, did I assign this reading to anyone? No.
I don't think so, teacher.
Okay, good. Well, very quickly, let us just check this little passage, which is before New York. Those people who were in level 4 with me have already read this passage. You probably don't remember, but yes, you have read it. Well, so right now, 1, 2, 3, I need 4 volunteers, please, to read. Anybody? Bruno, would you like to start?
Okay, teacher.
Okay, so you are reading the heading and from off to 100 years, please.
Okay.
I could do the second if you like, Miss.
For me?
I could be the second if you like.
Oh, all right, sure. Thank you, Robert.
Okay. Before New York, of all the visitors to New York City in recent years, one of the most surprising was a beaver that appeared one morning in 2007. Although beavers used to be common in this area in the 17th century, when people used to hunt them for their fur. There haven't been any for more than 200 years.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Robert, for ecologists.
Okay, Miss. For ecologists, Eric Sanderson, the beaver's appearance was especially interesting. Uh, for 10 years, Sanderson has been in charge of a project to show what the area used to look like before the city changed it completely. As Sanderson said, there are views in the city where you cannot see except for a person, another living thing, not a tree or a plant.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else?
Me.
Okay.
How did a place become like that? In fact, long before the scrapers came to dominate the view, this place was a pristine wilderness where animals like beavers, bears, and thurskays could move freely through forests, marsh, and grasslands. They're used to be sandy beaches along the coast and 90 kilometers of freshwater
Water streams. Okay. Thank you. And the last one, please.
You, Miss.
All right. Thank you, Pam.
Okay. At the end of Sanderson's project, he built a 3D computer model of the area. See the top photo on the right. You can pick any spot in modern New York and see what used to be there. Take Fifth Avenue, for example. A family named Murray used to have a farm here. In 1782, during the American War of Independence, the British soldiers land nearby. I'd like every New Yorker to know that they live in a place with amazing natural potential, even if you have to look a little harder to see it, says Sanderson.
Thank you. Okay, so remember, this is the picture of the way New York looks like now. And this is a place it used to be when the place was pristine. So you see new, let's say, completely pure, no human beings and etc. And this wilderness, so this aspect that you can see here, contain lots of animals, wild animals such as beavers, castores, bears, osos, and turkeys, pavos. So that is why probably the turkey is so popular there. Well, okay, very quickly, let us just finish this exercise containing certain words such as atmosphere, neighborhoods, blocks, public transportation, build-up, residence, financial, and skyscrapers. Remember that these skyscrapers are those tall buildings, such as the Empire State Building, the Twin Towers, and etc. Financial, well, everybody knows. Residents, people who live there. Build up is because you can see the city full of buildings like this. So these are what we call build up in the city. And public transportation, well, remember, which is not private. Blocks, those what we call in Mexico manzanas. So those are the blocks. Neighborhoods, the different, for example, New York has made of 5 boroughs, like a big neighborhoods, which is the Bronx, Staten Island, what is the other? Manhattan, and Chinatown, and I am missing one. Brooklyn is the other, I think. Well, okay, those boroughs contain little places such as neighborhoods, and those are the smaller areas. And the atmosphere. Well, very quickly, take a look at these sentences, and I need 7 volunteers to help me answer these words. Ready? If you like, let us begin by people who have not participated. Anybody?
Me.
Okay. Okay, so Megan is trying the first one. Jose Eduardo, you do the second, if you like. Ready?
There is an excellent public transportation system to get you around the city.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Jose Eduardo.
It has an important business and financial district.
Financial. Mhm.
Financial.
Okay, district, like Wall Street, right? 3. Let me see. Pau Benavides, would you like to try?
Miss,
Okay.
Pau Benavides has problems with his internet.
Okay. Thank you, Fatima. So 3. Even though. Hello? No? Fatima? Would
Even though most of it is really build up.
Okay. There are still a lot of open spaces. Okay. Well, 4. Anybody? The other, not Robert, Roberto. You know the other Roberto. Are you there, dear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay. Thank you. 4. The views from
Is
so this is 4. The views from, and these are the options. The views from
skyscrapers.
Okay. Well, but read the whole sentence. The views from.
Okay. The views from the skyscrapers are spectacular, especially at night.
Okay. 5. Anybody? Please, I need 4 volunteers. We're running out of time.
Residents, Miss?
Okay. 5, Maria Jose. I need another volunteer for 6. These are the choices, Maria Jose, for 5.
I'll do 6, teacher.
Okay, thank you, Bruno.
Residents, Miss?
Okay, yes. Maria Jose, read the whole sentence, please.
Here, residents.
Oh, yes, but read the whole sentence. There's lots.
There's lots to do for both tourists and residents.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Bruno.
Yes, Miss.
Some neighborhoods are more dangerous than others.
Yes, definitely. 7?
Me, but can I see the answers?
Yes. The what?
The blocks?
No, probably the atmosphere, right? Okay, let me see.
Can I, yeah, the atmosphere.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
It's exciting
and lively.
Lively.
Yeah, lively is full of life. Yeah, this is New York, the city that never sleeps.
Miss,
okay, and yes.
Can I leave because I have another class?
You have another class.
Thank
Fatima, just remind me about the reading presentation that you are having with Robert.
The next
Next
Tuesday?
class, right?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I told you. Okay.
But I remember you said me. It was Tuesday.
Yes.
Or Thursday. Todos los jueves.
Okay. So next Tuesday, no. Next Thursday.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye, dear. Well, just to finish, so we can leave, please, the streets.
Miss, I need gummy too because I have other classes.
Yes, dear. Go ahead.
Can I do it?
Okay, please, Salem.
The streets divide. The city divide into blocks.
Okay, into blocks. Thank you. Well, okay. So don't forget about the homework. It's the only one